then we're covering air, then we're covering land, then we're covering energy, and we're actually like done practically. Review the water cycle.
Oh no.
Just blurt things out, people. You got this. 70%. Keep going. 97.3. Keep going. This is where you get stuck. Good job, girl. Huh? Less. Yes, 0.3 or less than 1. And these numbers don't add up to 100, so they're kind of whacked because it's around 60-something and then around 30-ish, right? And then less than 1%. And then the cycle. You have to know the cycle because the cycle is going to be applied in this unit. So to refresh, water evaporates as it goes up, condensates, then it comes down as precipitation, right here, and it can either go through surface runoff and end up back here, which is the ideal situation, right? We want water to go back to its original source, or even better, infiltrate, percolate, which are not here. They call this collection, end up in an aquifer, which will also end up back into a major body of water, okay? So we rely as humans, right? Because almost the rest of this course is about us, not necessarily about ecosystems, but really about humans, how we impact, how we're impacted by everything that's going on Earth. So we rely on two major water resources. The first one is surface water, right? Less than 1% of Earth is surface water, and we rely on that for almost every water use in our home. It results from obviously precipitation, also snow melt, okay? And then it can also result from runoff. Water will end up in our surface water when snow melts, when rain falls, and when runoff occurs and the water ends up in the large body of water. Picture for me, what do you see? You see fog, those are clouds, like an aerial view, right? What else? Maybe. That's a good assumption because you look over here, it looks like beach. And then you look over here and it looks like brackish water where freshwater and saltwater meet. This is an ideal situation for natural recharge, or reliable runoff, where the water actually replenishes naturally, okay? These are called watersheds. We want that formation of land to help the water replenish. So it's called reliable runoff. What do you think destroys reliable runoff? Homes, urbanization, coastal development, even deforestation, okay? Because natural topography or land formation, and we change it, is going to impact the way water is supposed to flow naturally back into its. So we're going to talk about all that. And this is our second major source of water we tap into, which is called a what? Aquifer. Which is also what? What is an aquifer? Groundwater. Underground water or groundwater. How does it recharge? How does an aquifer form? Good job. And? No. Well, precipitation falls. Before percolation, what has to happen? Into the soil is called? Yes. Infiltration and percolation. Good job. This is a Florida aquifer, by the way. I put that there because when I found recharge, definitely infiltration, percolation. And then this is another vocabulary word. Not even sure if I'm going to add it, but lateral recharge. Rivers and streams flow sideways and recharge aquifer. It's almost like a backwards recharge, which is weird. This is important right here. We calculate water as available and plentiful based on this zone of saturation. If the top layer of the zone of saturation, which is called the water table, is low, we consider us in a critical water shortage, okay? This is how they determine whether water is recharging at the rate it should, because we know water is a renewable resource and should always replenish, but sometimes our water table levels are low, or you could say the zone of saturation is low and it goes below the water table, so then we consider ourselves in a critical water shortage. That's where restrictions will happen because we're monitoring that very closely. So how do we use water from our two sources? So I'm saying, how do we use water from aquifers and how do we use water from lakes? And I'm just going to skip this. I'll come back to it. There's 3 ways. Okay? What are they? No, let's go number 1. So 69% of water use is for agricultural industry. 19% is for what? Industrial. And then 12% for home, which we call, you're going to always see these words now, municipal, domestic, home. Okay? All mean the same thing. And also keep in mind that in the last century, we've increased our water by 7 times. Probably even a little bit more because this quote is actually like a decade old. So it could be more. So agricultural industry, which is the number 1 use of water, taps into what source mainly? Aquifers. Put a little star in your notes because that's not there. So agricultural industry primarily taps into aquifers to do what? Water crops. What do we call that process? Irrigation. Irrigation systems. We tap into aquifers. We also tap into the public water supply also, if we can't get enough from the aquifer. But the sad thing is, which is what we're going to learn a little bit later, is that a lot of the water never even hits the crops. Croplands are where are croplands found? Now that you finish this section, what type of climate? Temperate, which is what kind of temperature? Average. We go from average to warmer temperatures to grow crops. We can't grow crops in cooler temperatures. So those warm temperatures will cause water to rise before it hits the crop and poor irrigation systems in the process, right? Second main use of water is industry. What do we use it for? Power. Electric power plants use a lot of water. The plant runs with the use of water, and water is used throughout the whole plant. What else? What is this a picture of? Sanitation. In the industry, a lot of cleaning. Even to do this, we clean coal. Cleaning coal uses excessive amounts of water to try to take away the impurities before we burn it. And then lastly, when you see the word industry in this class, what are you supposed to think of automatically? Factories? What? I heard it. Manufacturing of goods, okay? Manufacturing of goods is industry. So from now on, don't think of a business as industry. This is a business, Archbishop McCarthy, yeah? It's a school. Industry makes goods, like concrete, right? I could name a million, but that's the first one that came to my head. So think of that. In the home, we tap into what water? Surface water. That's where we get our water from. So in the entire state of Florida, we're dependent on mainly Lake Okeechobee to supply water for the whole state, right? That's the water that supplies water to Pembroke Pines, right? With all the pipes. The water's main use in your home goes to certain things. What are they? Toilets is actually second. Washing machine, sprinklers is number 1, or your hose, right? Taking showers and bathing is third. Washing machines and washing your hands, kind of tied. And then leaks, which is a big issue, but